We think of ancient cities as dusty ruins, but in the year 600 BC, Babylon wasn't a ruin. It was the most sophisticated, colorful, and terrifying metropolis on Earth. It was the New York City of the ancient world, but built of blue glazed brick instead of steel. Under King Nebuchadnezzar II, this city had just crushed Jerusalem and was the undisputed capital of the known universe. I used modern AI to reconstruct Babylon at its absolute peak, not just the famous hanging gardens, but the streets, the markets, and the astronomical observatories where priests were inventing modern timekeeping. This is 24 hours in the city of the Marduk. The day in Babylon starts before dawn at 4 a.m., but not with the sun. It starts with the stars. You are on top of a ziggurat, a massive stepped pyramid in the center of the city. The air is cool and clear. You are standing next to an astronomer priest. Babylonians were obsessed with the sky. They didn't just look at it, they measured it. While the rest of the world was telling stories about constellations, these guys were doing calculus. They are recording the position of Venus to predict the harvest, the floods, and the fate of the king. They just invented the 60-minute hour and the 360-degree circle right here. The silence is broken only by the scratching of a reed stylus on a clay tablet. This is the Silicon Valley of 600 BC. By 6 a.m., the sun hits the Ishtar gate, and this is the image that defines the city. It's not brown mud brick. It is a brilliant, shocking lapis lazuli blue. The entire gate complex, the entrance to the inner city, is covered in glazed bricks depicting dragons and bulls in relief. You are walking through a tunnel of blue fire. Nebuchadnezzar built this to intimidate you. An inscription on the side says, "I placed wild bulls and ferocious dragons on the gateways, and thus adorned them with luxurious splendor so that people might gaze on them in wonder." It works. As a traveler, you feel small. The walls here are so thick, over 25 meters, that ancient historians said you could race a 4-horse chariot on top of them and turn around without falling off. You head into the Processional Way at 8 a.m. This is the main street of Babylon, paved with massive slabs of red and white stone. It's the width of a modern highway, and it smells amazing, not of garbage, but of cedar wood and incense. The king imported massive amounts of cedar from Lebanon to build the roofs of the temples, and the smell permeates the whole district. But don't relax too much. The walls on either side of the street are decorated with 120 lions made of glazed brick. They are life-sized, yellow and white against the blue background, mouths open in a roar. It's a message. Walk peacefully, or the king will eat you. By 10 a.m., the city is humming. You cross the bridge over the Euphrates River. This was a technological marvel. Stone piers held together with iron and lead clamps, supporting a wooden roadway. The river cuts right through the middle of the city, acting as a massive air conditioner. You see barges made of reeds and inflated animal skins floating down from the north, carrying wine, grain, and bitumen. Bitumen, basically natural asphalt, was the secret source of Babylon. They used it as mortar. It made their walls waterproof and their boats unsinkable. The smell of hot tar mixes with the smell of roasting lamb from the street vendors. You head to the Etemenanki at 12 p.m. This is the Tower of Babel from the Bible. In 600 BC, it was finished and standing 91 meters tall. It's a 7-story ziggurat painted in different colors: white, black, red, blue, orange, silver, and gold at the very top. It was the tallest building in the world. You can't go to the top. That is reserved for the high priest and the god Marduk himself. They believe the god literally comes down and sleeps in the temple at the summit. But you can stand in the massive courtyard below. It's crowded with pilgrims from all over the empire, Egyptians, Greeks, Persians, all here to pay tribute. The sound is a cacophony of languages, but the lingua franca is Aramaic. By 2 p.m., the heat is intense. This is Iraq in the summer. It hits 45 degrees Celsius easily. So where do you go? You go to the Hanging Gardens. Now this is controversial. Some archaeologists aren't sure they existed. but ancient writers describe them vividly, and AI reconstructions show us how they worked. They were a man-made mountain of terraces built on top of stone vaults. You walk underneath stone arches that are dripping with water. The air here is 10 degrees cooler. The technology was incredible. Massive Archimedes screws, water pumps, turned by slaves, lifting water from the Euphrates up to the top level, where it cascaded down in artificial waterfalls. It wasn't just a garden, it was an air conditioning unit for the palace. Nebuchadnezzar supposedly built it for his wife, Amytis, who missed the green mountains of her homeland. It smells of jasmine and damp earth, a lush green paradise in the middle of a baking desert. At 4 p.m., you head to the markets in the residential districts. The houses here are surprising. They are 3 stories high, made of whitewashed brick, with no windows on the ground floor for privacy. You enter through a side door into a central courtyard. It's cool and shaded. Babylonians were obsessed with cleanliness. They had bathrooms with drainage systems that emptied into the river. You sit down for a meal. It's rich. They ate a lot of stews, lamb with garlic, onions, leeks, and huge amounts of dates. Dates were the sugar of the ancient world. They made date syrup, date wine, date cake. You dip flatbread into a stew seasoned with coriander and cumin. But the economy here is what's fascinating. You watch a merchant finalize a deal. He doesn't use coins. They haven't been invented yet. He uses silver rings or cuts off pieces of silver from a coil. To record the deal, he grabs a lump of wet clay and a reed stylus. He presses wedge-shaped marks into it, cuneiform. I, Nabukuduri Usur, owe you 50 shekels of silver. He rolls a cylinder seal, his personal signature carved in stone, across the clay. Then he bakes it. That contract is indestructible. We have found thousands of them. We know the price of onions in Babylon in 600 BC, better than we know the price of bread in London in 1500 AD, because burnt clay lasts forever. By 6 p.m., the sun is setting and the mood shifts. The gates of the city are shut. The nightlife of Babylon begins, and it had a reputation. The Greeks later wrote that Babylon was a city of vice, but to the locals, it was just sophisticated. The taverns fill up. They are drinking beer, thick, barley beer, drunk through a straw to filter out the hulls. Musicians are playing lyres and drums, but there is an undercurrent of tension. This is a city of deportees. The Jewish population, exiled from Jerusalem just a few years earlier, is living here by the canals. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down and wept, the psalm says. They are the architects, the scribes, the merchants running the economy, but they are dreaming of Zion. You can hear their songs mixing with the hymns to Marduk. At 8 p.m., you might witness a religious procession. The statue of Marduk is carried through the streets on a massive boat wagon. Torches light up the blue walls of the Ishtar gate, making the dragons look like they are moving. The priests are chanting, burning frankincense. Religion here isn't a private thing, it's a state engine. If the rituals aren't performed perfectly, the gods will leave and the Assyrians will come back. By 10 p.m., you are on the roof of a house. It's too hot to sleep inside, so everyone sleeps on the flat roofs under the stars. The city is glowing with oil lamps. You can see the silhouette of the Etemenanki tower cutting a black shape against the Milky Way. It feels eternal. The Babylonians believed this city was built by the gods at the beginning of time. They called it Bab-Ili, the gate of the gods. Lying there in the warm wind, listening to the Euphrates flow, you realize the sheer audacity of this place. They took mud and water and built a civilization that charted the heavens. They codified law. Hammurabi's code was written here 1,000 years earlier. They invented the concept of the 7-day week. Every time you check your watch or look at a calendar, you are using systems invented by the people sleeping on these roofs. The astronomers are back on the Ziggurat now, measuring the moon. The cycle continues. It feels like it will last forever. Of course, it won't. In less than 60 years, the Persians under Cyrus the Great will divert the river, march under the walls, and take the city in a single night without a battle. But for now, in 600 BC, Babylon is the center of the world, a blue jewel in the desert that literally reached for the stars.